Hello and welcome back to another video. Today going to be discussing Forza's recent updates and how they seem to have improved somewhat as of late. So let's begin by winding back to when Forza's updates were at an all-time low, I think back in autumn last year, with things like the slightly underwhelming 10th anniversary update, which just added a load of recycled cars from the original game, and the plain awful Donut Media update, which I think the less spoken about the better really. Often updates around this time would have little to even no new vehicles in them, although they were kind of advertised as having new content. Around this time though, Forza introduced their new feedback hub, including a page for people to suggest new cars and vote on these cars in the hope of having them added in the future, which by the way you should probably visit and vote on your favourite cars, because they do seem to be adding a lot of cars from here now. I just ask as a favour, please vote for the 2008 Aston Martin DBS whilst you're there. Thank you. Anyway, we started to see cars added that were highly voted for on that site. For example, the addition of the Lamborghini Sian was one of the first highly requested cars from that page that was added back at Christmas. And I think this is kind of where the turning point was, although it took a while to get updates completely sorted and to get to the point where they are now, where I think they are actually pretty good. For example, in January, we still had that weird Forzathon update with no new Fords in it, which was a bit of a step backwards. But yeah, in general it seems to be going in the right direction, and the latest couple of updates have been pretty good. And to be fair, in that Forzathon one, we did get 2 new vehicles, but they were MGs, not Fords. Anyway, yes, after a few more kind of mediocre but not terrible updates went by, Series 19 arrived with 4 actually new vehicles: the Rimac Navara, the Lexus LC500, and the Cadillac CT4V and CT5V Blackwing models. And some use of the evolving world with the neon-themed races and the airfield's neon makeover, which did look pretty incredible, although it was only a small part of the map. This coinciding with the new rally expansion and the new rally upgrades, launch control, and such made for a fantastic month on Forza, packed with new content, not to mention the 3 new Street Fighter widebody kits that were added too. The 4 new cars shouldn't be a big deal, I know, because when Festival Playlist was originally added in Forza Horizon 4, that was pretty much a given for a while, but it has dropped away from that, so it is great to see it back to that. Even though the 4 cars added weren't necessarily favourites of mine, I have really enjoyed having some new cars to discover and play around with, and it's great to see that they're adding things that people actually want to see in the game. And the content has been great overall in this update. Series 20 continued this trend, adding 4 more new vehicles: the Lamborghini Huracan STO, Porsche 935, Audi RS6 and Porsche Mission R, 2 of which I've already unlocked at the time of this video, and very much enjoyed both of them, and I'm hopeful for the other 2, particularly that Audi RS6. This series also made even more use of the evolving world, with the Stadium Oval in free roam for the series, and added as a permanent race route for you to use for blueprints and such. This, of course, also giving us a new start point to use in Event Lab that's actually in the stadium, which is absolutely game-changing for the creators of these great Event Lab routes in the game. Although, unfortunately, as Event Lab is broken and I can't edit a route that I've started because it won't load, I still can't make proper use of that. But anyway, it is still great to see this much new content in an update, but it would be nice for them to, fix some of the issues with the game as well. But anyway, at least we've got new content now. Previously we had no new content and no fixes, so it's still a step in the right direction. So, Series 19 and the current series, Series 20, are both pretty good, I think, and Series 21 also looks promising from the teaser image of what's coming soon. It's set to add some new overlanding modifications, which will hopefully be things like roof tents and all of that sort of thing, also going very well with the recent expansion, which seems to be more of a Baja than rallying-themed one despite its name. If this, like the previous 2 updates, also gives us 4 brand new vehicles and makes some kind of use of Evolving World in some way again for a 3rd update in a row, that would be absolutely incredible, and they'll have really turned around the way this game and its updates are, if that is what it's like. Which brings me back to the feedback hub again, where you can now review the series updates at the end of each series with a short survey with a few questions about which bits you enjoyed in the playlist, whether you enjoyed the cars and that sort of thing, which I strongly recommend you do at the end of each series if you want to show them that you're enjoying the updates, basically. If we want to see similar updates full of new vehicles and evolving map elements, I really strongly recommend that you go and give your opinions over there so that we continue to get that. I will try to link that in the description somewhere, so go and check that out if you haven't already. So yeah, tell them that's what we want, as they actually seem to be listening more than ever at the moment, so make sure to go and give your opinions on the updates. And while you're there, don't forget to have a search and vote for your favourite cars, as I said before, and vote for the Aston Martin DBS, please. So yes, hopefully this all means that the reputation of Forza's updates, which was pretty bad, as being full of recycled contents and dull story modes, will be somewhat repaired, but I think it's going to take a few more good updates to truly get people back into the game and enjoying it again. Because I think for a lot of people it's too late by now, after so many bad updates. For probably as long as I can remember, really, a large number of people, I think, have stopped playing Forza and have quite a low opinion of it by now. So I really hope that some players come back, because as much as it doesn't fix its issues and it has lots of things wrong with it, I do really want to see more players back in this game. The better all racing games are, the better for everyone, really, isn't it? So yeah, let's hope that reputation is somewhat repaired, although I think, yeah, a lot of people have already given up on this game, which is a bit of a shame, because it is now receiving some pretty good updates. But the thing is, why has it suddenly improved? Why did they suddenly introduce this feedback hub and actually start listening to the community? It took a bit of a while for it to go through to adding vehicles in the game, but I think the release of the feedback hub did really help with this, because it seems to be one place where they can gather a whole load of feedback without having to look at all their different socials, and it's an easier way with a voting system to see really which things people actually want to see. So I think that has been a huge step forward. As I said earlier, it seems that since it was launched, we have started to get some new vehicles that people actually want to see. Unfortunately, the improvements also seem to have coincided with a lot of the employees with major roles leaving Playground Games, including the creative director Mike Brown, as you probably know by now. Not necessarily to blame them for the problems, but either those who left have been replaced with people who have new and fresh ideas and creativity that they brought to the series, or Microsoft have realised that employees were not happy not being able to fully make use of their skills and creativity, and have realised they need to turn the studio around if it's got to the point where some of the quite major employees have left. So whatever reason it is, it seems to be somehow with those people leaving, it has improved, whether that's that the studio realised they need to step their game up because even the staff aren't happy with where it's going, or whether they've just brought in some new creative ideas, I don't know. But for whatever reason, that has made them change the way this game is. And that, along with the feedback hub, with things they're actually adding that we want, I think has come together to, well, create these 2 and hopefully 3, well, and more going forward, great updates that they seem to be adding recently. Whatever the reason for the improvements, it was needed to keep the game alive, although, like I say, it may already be too late for a lot of people, and to save the reputation that the games have unfortunately got now, because they built up such a great reputation on the first 3 games. They were so good, and they changed each time, which I think was part of it, has become pretty similar. But anyway, I really hope that they have fixed their reputation and that it continues like this, because it would really make it truly a great game that it should always have been if they continue to update it and add things in this way, and hopefully start to fix things as well, maybe. They do really need to continue like this, though, to mend their reputation, as they might actually have some competition again soon, with games like the Crew Motor Fest and the highly anticipated Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown coming out later this year. So that might have kind of jogged them to up their game as well, knowing that those kind of things are coming soon. With these other options available, if Forza doesn't continue with these kind of updates, Horizon 6 might actually not sell as well as they hope, because I think previously the trend is that every game has outsold the previous one, and I don't think at the moment Horizon 6 would. So I think they do really need to step their game up if they want that game to be a success like the previous ones were. But as I say, the way that updates are looking at the moment is pretty good. It's brilliant, really. And to be honest, how they should always have been. And as long as that continues, I'll be happy, and I'll keep coming back and enjoying the new cars and new evolving world and content in this game. Oh, and fixing some of the game-breaking bugs and issues would be nice too, please. Oh, and most importantly, please add the Aston Martin DBS that you removed for no reason, along with a load of other great cars that seem to have disappeared. But anyway, for today's video, that is going to be all. Do let me know what you think of the recent updates. Do you think they're improving? Has this brought you back to the game if you previously left? Or do you think this still isn't enough? Do let me know what you think of it, and hopefully we'll see similar updates going forward. For now, though, that is going to be all, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.